Hey YouTube, this is Jammin' Jamie here. Just wanted to show you a quick video on this new crossbow I got. I'm a beginner with crossbows, but I'm going to teach you what I learned just to see if it would help somebody else out. What I got was a Carbon Express X-Force Blade, or Blade X-Force. I got it for around $200. It's an entry-level crossbow. I like it so far. So I'm just going to show you a few things that I've learned about this. The guy that recommended scorpion venom. It's crossbow rail lube. So one of the main things you want to do with your crossbow that I learned is you want to lube this rail here so that you keep this string in good condition. I believe this is called the serving here. So I'm going to put some of this on. So I think you press down and you can see that starting to come out. They say not to put too much, so I'm just going to put a little bit. I can't get it really good down here. So I think that should be good. I think I'm going to apply it like maybe every time I use it I might apply a little bit. You can leave some comments if you know the best thing to do. So now that the rail is lubed, they also talk about, as you guys probably know, waxing the string part. So you get some wax and then put it in and then kind of make it warmer with your fingers and kind of get it in there so it doesn't fray and it keeps the string in good condition. Okay, what else? Okay, so this comes with these bolts. They're not called arrows, they're actually called bolts. The thing I learned about this, I learned it the hard way, is that these bolts, I don't know how fast they go, but they penetrate much better than my compound bow, which I'm used to. And if you can see here, I shot it into my deer target and I cannot get this out. I cannot get it out. I tried to pull really hard, all different kinds of ways. I tried to use pliers, this and that, and I'm having a real tough time. So I got to figure out a way to get this out. From what I read, you can keep your crossbow cocked for several hours. I'm not sure what the maximum amount of time is. You can leave comments if you know. But I think, you know, an average hunt, you might be sitting out for 2, 3, 4 hours. At the end of that hunt, if you don't get anything, you have to discharge your crossbow. So one way to do it is get a discharge target like this, and after you're done with your hunt, you can just, before you get in the truck or whatever, you can shoot right into the target, and then you discharge your bow, so you're good to go. Alright, so what I want to do now is I sighted this in at Lancaster Archery at about 20 yards, and I was hitting the bullseye, which was good. What I want to do now is I'm going to shoot it here with my bullet tip, my target point, and then to get ready for my hunt, I'm going to sight in my broadhead. We'll be hunting for deer, whitetail. They recommended the G5 Deadmeat Broadheads, and the cool thing about this, it comes with a match point, a ballistic match point that should simulate the flight of my broadhead. So as you guys know, I'm hoping my target point matches this practice point that they get, so that I can be consistent when I actually go hunting for deer. So I'm going to take one shot with this. Maybe I'll just use the same arrow, the same exact arrow again. Put the new tip on, the practice tip on, and hopefully we'll be consistent. So let's try that now. And I'm also going to show you how to cock this bow, hoping that it helps other newbies like myself. As you can see down there, hopefully we won't hit any goat behind the target as we're starting to get into the barn. Okay, some other things about this crossbow. So as you know, it's an entry-level crossbow, around $200. Some things that I learned, it came assembled at the store. One thing, this was loose, so this had to be tightened. For me to sight in the scope, I could not get it sighted in because my up-down dial was maxed out. I couldn't get the scope to hit at 20 yards. So what they did at Lancaster Archery is they actually shaved down a penny. I don't know if you can see it right in here. Right there, they shimmed up the scope with a penny. And that actually did the trick where I can sight in the scope properly. So I'm going to show you how to cock it, and then we're going to try and hit that target. Okay, so basically here's the cock rope. I guess it's called the cock rope. What I learned is that this should be, how close is that, Kayla? Okay.
It's not.
Okay, so this should be, the guy at the store told me, like, almost like you're doing curls. This should come underneath and grab it like that, so that this doesn't come off when you're drawing it back. So I'm gonna take it down. Oh, one other thing I wanted to share. One of the reasons I got a crossbow is so I can take my daughters hunting with me during archery season here in Pennsylvania. The one thing that makes me afraid of crossbows, especially with using it with kids, is you cannot have your hand anywhere up in this area. So when you're gripping it, you have to keep your hand down here. If it's anywhere up there, it will get messed up once that string once that string is released. So just be careful. Make sure you keep your hand down here. Don't do anything like that. Okay, Cole, I'm doing a video, okay? But here's Cole. All right, so I'm going to show you. When you cock it back, it should be up like this. I'm probably going to paint this handle, give it a certain color so that I know it's to the right-handed handle, because you can't put the string backwards. It's not safe to do that. So I'll show you how I cock it. Put my foot through this holder here, that foot stirrup. Make sure my strings are above this rail. You hook it in the rope cocker groove right back here. Okay. I'm gonna pull it back. It's not too hard to pull back. It might seem like it, but it's not too hard at all. Once you pull that back, it puts the safety on. Okay. And as you guys probably know, is you do not want to dry fire these things, or you could probably damage it big time or hurt yourself. Okay. So I'm gonna set this up. We'll put an arrow in. The white fletching goes down. This comes with a, I think it's called a moon knock, which settles in there. One other thing about this, when I first got it, this was kind of loose. So my bolt would fall out if I held it down. If I held it down like this, it would fall out. But they tightened it, and you tighten it by, there's a little, use an Allen wrench and get through there, and you can tighten up that bolt right there. I'm gonna take the scope caps off. Okay, I'm gonna set up a target down there. So, Kayla, let's go set that up.
Can I chase the goats away?
Yeah. So yesterday I actually tried to shoot through the hay bale or the straw bale, and the bolt went all the way through, so it's hidden somewhere in there. So I lost one down there. I'll have to get it later. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to shoot. I'm going to try and hit this. I'm going to try and hit this right here. Okay, right in the middle. We don't have a marker or something, do we?
I can run and get.
Maybe I'll put this back behind there. All right.
By the way, they all have babies.
They're going to have babies.
They're going to have babies.
All right, so I'm gonna record that.
My name is.
Move away. Move. Move. Come on.
My name is Kendall Gregg.
Go. Go.
Oh, you know he's not gonna put that on.
Go. Okay, so I'm gonna aim right here. We'll see how close we get, and then we're gonna try it with the target, or the practice point. Okay, come on, come here. Safety first. What I might tell my kids to do, I'm a little paranoid that they might have their hands up here or something like that, especially if a deer comes out and you're all excited. I might tell them just to like practice like this, where they have their hands like that. So that's what I'm gonna probably show them what to do. All right, so before every shot, I mentally tell myself, okay, 2 things. Make sure there's an arrow. 3 things. Make sure there's an arrow or a bolt in place. Make sure your hand is not in this area. Mental checklist, right? And always put your safety off once you're ready to shoot at a deer. Don't forget about that. My son missed a deer that way because he forgot to turn the safety off one time. So 3 things. Making sure I have an arrow in there. I don't want to dry fire. I have my hands in a safe place, and safety's off. Okay, what?
And don't put your hand right there on
Yeah.
your shoe.
Yep, okay, stand back. All right, here we go. Is that 20 yards?
Might be, I don't know.
No, it is.
Oh, I really see.
Okay, so we hit just a little low the bullseye, but not too bad. Okay, so we're about 3 inches off the bullseye. That's not too bad. All right, and this foam target really helped. Oh, the foam target and this. So I didn't lose my bolt, which is good. I can pull it out. So we're gonna memorize this. It's like right here. I'm gonna use the same arrow. Pull it out. Oh, that was so much easier than before. That deer target, it was so hard. Okay, don't bump that, Kayla.
Yep. And Dixie.
So we're gonna try this G5 outdoors dead meat. And the reason why I prefer these expandables rather than the fixed broadheads. We'll see, but the fixed ones, I have a hard time matching my field points, my target tips. So if you look at these 2, they're very similar, so I'm hoping that they fly the same. So let's get this open. Oh, and these have replaceable blades that snap into this, so we'll see how that goes. That's one thing you always wonder about. You hate to use a broadhead up for practice, but you have to know that it flies the same as your practice field tip, right? It's not good to have that feeling when you're hunting that you're not going to be consistent with your practice. All right, so this is the practice point 100 grain. These better be 100 grain, yeah. Here's the practice point field tip. And here is the practice broadhead that they give us, or what do they call it? Ballistic Match Point. Okay, so we'll give this a shot. Unscrew this. And if you compare that with the actual broadhead, it looks great. Very similar. Well, not very similar, but same shape. Okay. Screw this bad boy on.
Bad boy. Yeah, why you call it bad boy? What?
Screw that in. Okay. And we'll give this a shot again. Alright, that's how it looks. So Kayla, come here, I'm going to show you how I put this on again. So here's the cock rope. Again, this hook should be facing up on your right hand. This one should be in your left hand. I'm going to put it here on the groove. Up on the serving here. I believe it's called the serving. Okay. Then take this, step through it. Make sure that these strings are on top of that ridge there. And you pull back. Once you pull back, the safety turns on, it clicks on. Okay. And let's hope that this this flies consistent with see if this flies consistent with the bullet point. Again, white fletching down. I'm thinking 3 things right now. Number 1 is making sure I have an arrow in so I don't dry fire. Hands in a safe place and safety off once I know that I'm good to go. And I'll go for that yellow foam piece again. There we go. Let's pull this trigger slowly. And great, hitting the same exact spot, which is about 4 inches just below and to the right of the bullseye. Let's go take a look. So I'm really happy about that. They're pretty consistent within about 1 inch or 2 at 20 yards. Are you sure was it there or was it here? I thought it was down here.
The last arrow, I think it was...
Is that right there?
Yeah, around there.
Okay. Well, let's pull it out and then... Oh, that comes out easy too. That makes me happy because yesterday I could not get it out. And...
Yeah, that was our last
Okay,
one.
so we're about 2 inches apart between the two. Maybe we'll try it at 30 yards quick. I was hitting bullseyes at the other range. This is a little different because we're shooting downhill, so we'll see. Alright, so my assistant had to leave. Again, I'm going to be aiming for this right here. And this is at 30 yards. So we'll see how it does. Maybe I'll shoot 2 different arrows this time. I hate, or bolts. I hate to destroy a bolt, but I don't think I'm going to be that perfect. Okay, so I'm going to try 2 different arrows this time. One with that practice broadhead tip. And we're just gonna use one of the actual target tips. And we're looking for consistency here. I'll be done at 30 yards. So again, I'm gonna get this right hook, my right hand, connect it there, cock it back. I'm thinking 3 things right now. One is making sure my arrow is in. We'll go with the target tip first. White fletching down. Keep it steady, buddy. Okay. Arrow's in so I can't dry fire. Hands in a safe place and safety is on. Off. Okay. 30-yard target, here we go. That's pretty good. I'm still hitting low and to the right a little bit, so I think I have to adjust my scope. We're gonna try. That target twisted a little bit, so I'm going to set that back up and then we're going to try this. Low and to the right again, so I'll adjust my scope. At least we're being consistent. I'm going to fire that other arrow bolt right now. It's called a Ballistic Match Point, which I'm happy about that they have. So this pack of broadheads was about $50. Yeah, they're kind of pricey these days, but you want something good to hit your deer with, right? Make it a quick kill. Okay, we'll cock it again.
I'm videoing you.
Good. And keep them close together. Alright, we'll put her in. So this is tight enough where it's not going to slip out, which is a good thing. Alright, again, I'm thinking three things. Number one, do I have an arrow in so I don't dry fire? Hands are in a safe place, and safety's off once I'm pointing in a safe direction. And again, I'm not an expert, but this is how I think, and I think it's going to be helpful to some people. Wait for the neighbor to go inside. Neighbor is inside now. Here we go. So that hit fairly close within a group like that, and I guess I'm pretty happy about that at 30 yards. I'm going to shoot this third field point right now and just see where that ends up if we can get somewhat of a grouping. Okay, so I'm doing this again. Cock it. When I step on it, I can keep it like that, so I don't have to hold on it. It's kind of hands-free. Okay, this is just a regular target tip. Light fletching down. Make sure it's all the way back here. Thinking three things: arrows in, hands are safe, safety off. Let's see how we do. So I have somewhat of a grouping here, we'll see. That actually flew pretty close to the Ballistic Match Point. So I have somewhat of a grouping here. This is my first shot. I believe that was my first shot. Here's that Ballistic Match Point, and then this is my third shot here. So you can see those are pretty consistent. What I'm going to do now is adjust my scope to go up and to the left a little bit, so I can hit that bullseye. Oh, I'm so happy that's easy to pull out. Yesterday I had the hardest time. I think I already said that before. Yeah, that's that tip. So at least this gives me confidence that I can use my new broadheads and they'll be consistent. So let's shoot again at 20 after I adjust my scope. I'm going to adjust the scope now. So I was hitting down and to the right, so I'm going to bring it up and to the left. The scope has an arrow, so I want to go up, and it does tell me which way to turn to go up. So I want to go up and to the left, so I'm going to take this up a little bit. Use my flathead. Up a little bit, and up and to the left. Tells me which way to turn for left. I took it about like a half a turn each way to hopefully bring it up a couple inches into the left. Alright, let's try this bad boy again. Now we're back at 20 yards. So again, I unit like this. I'm gonna put some kind of marking here so I know it's my right hand always goes on this side. That'll help. Maybe a piece of tape or something. We'll do bullet tip, bullet point, target point, and ballistic match point, and target point again. 20 yards, arrows in. Turn my safety off, hands in a safe spot. Alright, that's pretty close to the bullseye. I'm a little nervous now, 20 yards, trying to shoot these other bolts because I'm afraid I'm going to bust with the crossbow. I think it's easier to get to, what do you call it? Split a bolt, split an arrow. All right, ballistic match point, here we go. Yeah, they're both right there. I'm just gonna shoot these two now, but they're both in the bullseye, so I'm happy about that. So again, we'll go down and look at it, but again, this is the Carbon Express X-Force Blade. I think that's what it's called, or it might be the X-Force Blade Carbon Express. Again, I got it for $200. And I'm using these G5 Deadmeats, which are flying pretty consistent with the target points, and I'm happy about that. Let's go down and look at our last two shots at 20 yards. And you can see that's a good grouping right there. I couldn't see this bullseye during my scope. I needed to have something with a different color, so I was actually aiming here, and that's where I was hitting, so I'm happy with that. And that's a wrap. Don't forget, have a target where your bolt's not going to go all the way through, and you can pull out each. There's a ballistic match point. And again, here's my yellow jacket discharge target behind. I'm just using for now. Yeah, and I think we're good to go. Colt, come up and I'll show one more thing. When I was doing research, some people were saying to put wax on the bolt rail, but I've heard you shouldn't do that because what wax does is it collects dirt and grime, which will get stuck back here in your trigger mechanism. So use something like crossbow rail lube. This is called scorpion venom, which I heard is good. And again, you just put a little bit on the rail there to keep your string and your string in good condition. And that's about it. Hope this helps. Hopefully I'll show you some video of the Deadmeat Broadheads doing some damage to some deer. So thanks again. Please like and subscribe if this helps you. I'm up to 10,000 subscribers, past 10,000 subscribers. I know my videos are kind of random and all over the place, but thanks for subscribing and liking. Again, this is Jam and Jamie and my buddy Colt, one of my assistants, Colt. Give thumbs up. Thanks. Good luck this hunting season.
Now what do I do?
Just press the